Hi, and welcome back to the Kung Fu Book Review. Today we're back with The Illustrated Elements of Tai Chi by this dude, Angus Clark, right? Now, this is one of those books that I just walked through in a sort of normal bookshop and I was like, oh, I didn't expect to see a Tai Chi book here in the health and fitness sort of section. Let me see. And I looked in it and it's quite a beautiful book, right? It's like kind of like those Dee Dorling Kingsley, it's like kids' books that are like the illustrated guide to. It's a very pretty book, right? And so that sold me enough to pick it up, right, and have a read. Now, overall, would I recommend this book? Even if you're doing Tai Chi, maybe not. Yeah, it's quite pretty, but it's not that great, right? It's okay. It's okay, right? So key things about it is that it doesn't really lay out a whole form or anything. It just goes on posture by posture. And it's kind of his short own set that he created. So he's created a sort of a modern, simplified form. So, maybe, as me, as a sort of like someone who loves Tai Chi for all of its intricacy and practices the sort of the long form, the Yang long form, maybe I'm biased in that regard in that, it's too simplified, right? It's a basic beginner's guide. But there's a few other things that niggle with me. So it's got like 2 pages on Tai Chi as a fighting art, and the postures and positions that he's in are just not good, right? So because it's kind of modern style Tai Chi, so it's about pushing people over with pushing hands, which I am not a fan of. And then it's got a few other nice sections about Tai Chi at work and Tai Chi for life. So it's okay. It's a very nice looking book, which I would give it credit for. So a lot of martial arts books do not look as nice as this one does, right? So it's like when it's got maps and things, they're in gorgeous color, right? And these sections at the beginning I do rate quite highly. So let's, what do we know about Angus? Not very much, to be honest. And he doesn't include much section about himself. So he learnt the Chen Man Ching short form, which is already pretty short by Tai Chi form standards. And then he developed his own shortened short form, right? Of like a sort of like a 17-19 posture type form. I'm not much of a fan of this. I have to say, again, sort of declaring my own biases. There are excellent short forms that are already plenty short. So Chen Man Ching form, or my personal favorite, the Beijing 24 form, right, which was devised by a collection of experts working on it. Why you feel the need to shorten forms that have already been significantly shortened and details have been reduced from them, I do not know. Because I think even any old person or beginner can learn either the Chen Man Ching 37 or the 24 form. Like these are not, they're not excessively technically demanding. So to make them even simpler, because I've seen like a Chen 18 posture form as well, really, really short. Like you're going to cut out key stuff, right? When you start doing that. So yeah, that's my own opinion, but I'm not a fan of that. And then I don't really know anything else about this guy, and I haven't really been able to find anything else about him. So what's it got in this book? So it's 142 pages long. Again, like I said, in terms of presentation-wise, excellent, right? Got a good little preface, got a little, how to use this book. So similar to all of these kind of like DK, HarperCollins style, nice illustrated guides. All of the production values are solid. So if you like having a nice Tai Chi book on your coffee table, this could be the one for you. But if you want to learn good Tai Chi, maybe not. So and then each section is only really that's the other thing, is it doesn't spend enough time to develop any of the key things. So everything, like the longest you'll get on any one page, again, looks pretty, right? But you'll get historical origins in 2 pages, right? So even that's a big rush to get done with Tai Chi, right? The birth and origins and history of Tai Chi. You know, again, you get 2 pages on it as a healing art, with half of that being talked about by massage, which is not Tai Chi, right? So there's this whole separate art called of massage, like Tuen art, which is often taught alongside Tai Chi in some areas, but is really quite a different thing. He does talk about, so the best things, the things that I do like, is he does talk about the principles, right? So he talks about the separation of yin and yang and the 7 key qualities, so that each posture must have. And then he talks about how to train. So I really like this, the 7 steps to progress. So, you know, what you should be aiming for, and which bits you should be developing. So, and also he talks a little bit about programming. So, which is, you know, I think this is strong. This is actually strong, because a lot of Tai Chi books and Tai Chi practitioners, especially in, you know, Asian practitioners, they don't really, this isn't really a thing to think about. They're just like, just train harder, you know, just, are you training right now? Train more, right? You know, so, you know, he's saying, like, no, like, so first of all, we'll start with this principle and we'll work on this, and then you'll get a bit better at it, and then you should move over your attention to this, and then that will become stabilized, and then we'll spend time, and now your training capacity has gone up and you've got a bit more experience with the movement, then we'll introduce 3 more principles and you'll get better at those. So that's excellent. I like that, and which, you know, leads me to think that actually his teaching quality might be quite good. Yeah, and then there's a lot of stuff about like physical structure of the body, so skeleton structure and things like that. Yeah, like it's okay. Like again, 2 pages in here is not the same as an anatomy textbook. He talks a little bit about the body shape and posture. It'd be nice if he spent more time talking about how to train that, which is you know, standing meditation, but that's not really a big part. He focuses a lot on breathing and energy, which again, that's not good from my point of view. So there are lots of, now there's a big divide here. So just to say my opinions about this for Tai Chi training, there are Tai Chi people that spend a lot of emphasis on the way that the breathing should be done and how the body feel energetically in the body, right? And you know, where your intention is and all this kind of thing, right? So, and then there are other guys who say, just learn the movement, right? And try and have the right mindset, and then all of these things will develop by themselves. And I started off in camp 1, because when I first started learning, I was like, you've got to learn everything and you break it down. And today I'm going to do breathing. Tomorrow I'm going to do energy. I'm going to do this energy drill, and then I'm going to do that energy drill. But over time with my teaching, I actually said, no, because for me, that actually caused problems whilst I was learning. And, you know, I was focusing on the breathing, and then you can't do the other thing, and your mind is tense because you're trying to focus on each thing at a time, and you're not in that TaiChi state, you're not in that flow state, and that's where the best TaiChi happens, right? And that's where you start to learn these things. And instead, when you go over to the other camp of saying, don't worry about that stuff, like you tell the student, you're like, look, this is things, but just worry, just put it in the back of your head, and we'll just keep working on it, right? We'll just keep working on it, just keep practicing. And then instead they get little aha moments, right? Where they're suddenly like, ooh, like this thing just happened. Like I was doing the posture and my breath was just going in and out as I expanded and contracted. And I didn't have to do that. It just did itself. And I was like, that's cool, yeah? But then they know how it feels and what to aim for, right? I think, especially for beginners books, I just drop a few lines and say, look, we've got to work on this, and this stuff's important, but we're going to start learning the postures and the feeling, and we're going to start doing standing meditation and some basic movement drills, and then you'll learn this stuff. It'll sort of get integrated slowly. So maybe a bit of a negative point, but again, that's just from my point of view. There are people that do follow this mantra, right, of, you know, very important that breathing must be done correctly, right? Nice section on preparing for practice. I think this is important, you know, so just taking the time to find a little bit of stillness in yourself, take a few deep breaths before you begin practicing. Very important. Little bit about terminology, talks about some of the basic stances, and talks about the Tai Chi stepping. I think this is all important stuff. So, you know, if I was writing a Tai Chi book, I would definitely spend some time talking about these basic ways of moving and the structure, and also I'd spend quite a bit of time on the Tai Chi step, because I think it's just such a great drill to understand those principles and build a bit of strength and balance in the legs. Then he talks about the key moves. He includes some basic warm-up exercises, which is good. Very good. And they're well illustrated. I like this. If you're going to do Tai Chi book illustration, I think this is excellent. So, because it tells you, well, it shows you all of the intermediate postures, right? Because the Tai Chi is not like Shaolin Kung Fu. You can't just go from there to there, right? It matters how you get there, right? So, and then he does his complete short form. Yeah, and that's the majority of the book, right? And this is the thing. So each of these are well illustrated, but you cannot see the connections between each of them, right? So after Embrace Tiger and Return to Mountain, how do you get into Single Whip? Can't do it and you know, you've got each of the postures shown there, but you don't know how to get from this one to this one, right? So you end up with a series of 17, 18 individual static postures rather than a short form. Again, not great. But each of the postures themselves, well illustrated, right? You know, and his posture seems okay, right? You know, again, it's modern style Tai Chi. So if you look at his single whip, for example, so like, or his squatting single whip, his snake creeps down, it looks fine, right? So it's a relaxed, it's a yin hook hand, and you know, he's sinking into the qua, okay, but there's the martial intent in any of these movements is not there. Like, look at his single whip, for example, right? So the application is this single whip here, right? So the hand is down, so he's coming down rather than up and strike, yeah? So it's clearly being done for health or for modern pushing hands practice rather than as a martial practice. Yeah, so that's most of the book in there. Then he's got a little bit of stuff about pushing hands, how to work with a partner, how to use it for fighting. Don't rate that section too much. And a little bit about Qigong, Tai Chi for life, the 5 elements, and how to do, there's a good section at the end, a little bit about the different styles and schools of Tai Chi, and different people talking about their Tai Chi experiences. I really like this, actually. So he's got a bunch of his students that each have written little sort of testimonials about what Tai Chi meant to them. Because I think this is a real strength of Tai Chi, right? Because you can do it to, you know, improve your bad back, you can do it to help your golf swing, you can do it for martial arts, you can do it for meditation. It is an engine for smoothing out and improving movement quality and internal connection between your mind and body, and you can point it in any direction that you want. So having a bunch of people saying, it helped me this way, it helped me this way, right, I think is really useful. So solid plus at the end there. And as I said, index and everything is well written and well structured. So, the illustrated elements of Tai Chi, so-so. If you're doing modern style Tai Chi and you want a nice book to put on your coffee table that is well illustrated, you could go worse. If you're practicing Tai Chi for martial arts, it's not a particularly great book. And also, if you want to learn a short form, there are better books out there as well. So overall, maybe not this one. Okay. Good. Let me know if there are any. So this is probably my first dud review. Let me know if there are any other martial arts books that you did not like. I own a lot, right, of books that I did, Tai Chi martial arts books that are not so great. And be sure there will be more to come. Okay. I'm not just picking on this guy, right? Okay. Good. Best of luck with your practice, everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe. And of course, it's my opinion, right? So if you are Angus Clark, you know, or any of his students, then please post up and let me know, right, about all the other brilliant books he's written, or that he's amazing, right? So it's just my opinion, and my bias is based on the types of martial arts that I do. Best of luck with your training, everyone, and stay.